I'm the only president that ever took a cognitive test. I took it 3 times. It's actually a very hard test for a lot of people. It wasn't hard for me, but it's a cognitive test. It starts off with an easy question, and by the time you get to the middle, it gets tougher. By the time you get to the end, very few people can answer those questions. They get very tough, mathematical equations and things. I took it 3 times. I aced it all 3 times.
The room was already tense before the challenge was even spoken. Bright lights, a packed audience, cameras locked in from every angle. The kind of televised town hall where every word feels heavier because the whole country is watching. Donald Trump stood at the podium with that familiar confidence, chin lifted, voice sharp, acting like he owned the stage before the first serious question even landed. Jimmy Kimmel sat across from him, unusually calm, almost quiet, holding a stack of notes and watching carefully. The topic that night was leadership and the Constitution, but Trump had spent most of the evening doing what he always does when the questions get too close. He changed the subject. He attacked the question. He attacked the person asking it. And then, when Kimmel calmly pushed back with a fact check, Trump's expression changed. You could see it happen.
We've been hearing so much about these cognitive tests he keeps acing. You guys know what ACE means? Okay. All right. And I've offered him the opportunity to take the test live on television. He still hasn't gotten back to me on it. The
smile tightened. The eyes narrowed. The room felt the temperature rise. Trump leaned toward the microphone and snapped, "You think you're smarter than me? Everybody thinks they're smarter than Trump. Fake media, fake comedians, low IQ people everywhere." A few supporters clapped, but the rest of the room went quiet. Then Trump slammed his hand on the podium and gave the line that would become the clip of the night. "Let's settle it right now. IQ test. Me versus Kimmel. Live on stage. Let the American people see who has the stable genius brain." The audience gasped. For a moment, Trump looked pleased with himself. He thought he had changed the whole conversation. No more Constitution, no more accountability, no more direct questions. Now it was a spectacle, and spectacle was the kind of battlefield he understood. He expected Kimmel to laugh nervously, dodge the challenge, or turn it into a cheap joke. But Kimmel did not move fast. He did not panic.
Listen, I'm not sure being asked to take 3 cognitive exams is quite the flex he thinks it is.
I did something no other president's ever done. I took cognitive tests because I know that, and by the way, not easy.
Not easy. Oh, well, tell us about the questions you answered.
He slowly reached beneath the desk and pulled out one clean sheet of paper. That tiny movement shifted the entire room. Kimmel stood up and walked across the stage. "Mr. President," he said calmly, "before we bring out doctors, proctors, score sheets, and all the complicated testing, maybe we start with something simpler." Trump looked confused. Kimmel handed him the page. "It's just 1 paragraph," he said. The camera zoomed in. The audience leaned forward. And suddenly, everyone realized what Trump was holding. The First Amendment to the United States Constitution. The room went still. Trump stared at the page, squinting under the stage lights. He began reading aloud, stumbling through the words with visible frustration. "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press."
The White House doctors have reported he's in perfect health and that I aced, meaning was correct on 100% of the questions asked. He defines the word aced for, like we're the ones with dementia. I aced for the 3rd straight time my cognitive exam, something which no other president or previous vice president was willing to take. Or asked to take, by the way. These cognitive...
His rhythm broke. His voice tightened. Words like abridging and grievances seemed to slow him down. This was no longer the loud, confident man demanding an IQ test. This was a man unexpectedly trapped by a piece of paper. When he finally reached the end, he looked up as if waiting for the moment to be over. But Kimmel stepped closer. And then came the question. One question. No insult, no yelling, no trick. "Mr. President," Kimmel asked, "can you explain to the American people in your own words what that right actually means?" The silence was brutal. 13 seconds passed, and they felt longer than the whole debate. Trump looked down at the paper, then at Kimmel, then at the audience. The confidence was gone. The swagger was gone. The whole stable genius act suddenly looked smaller under the lights. He tried to smile, but it came out strained. "Well," he began, "it means freedom, great freedom, the best freedom, speech, press, all of it. Very important, beautiful words." The audience did not laugh at first. That was what made it worse. They just watched, because everybody understood what had happened. Trump had demanded a public test of intelligence, but Kimmel had given him a basic test of understanding. Not calculus, not law school, not philosophy, just the meaning of one of the most important rights in the Constitution, and he could not explain it beyond slogans. Kimmel let the answer hang there. Then he calmly said, "So the test wasn't whether you could read it. The test was whether you understood it." That line broke the room. The audience erupted. Some people laughed, some clapped, some just sat there stunned because the reversal was so clean. Trump tried to interrupt, calling the question unfair, calling the event rigged, calling Kimmel a fake comedian with terrible ratings. But every word made the moment worse. The more he attacked, the more it looked like panic. The more he boasted, the more the silence from 13 seconds earlier echoed behind him. Kimmel did not chase him. He simply turned back to the audience and said, "Demanding an IQ test does not make a man look smart. Understanding the Constitution usually helps." The crowd exploded again. And that was the humiliation. Not because Kimmel shouted louder, not because he insulted harder, not because he brought some complicated trap. He asked one simple question. That was all it took. In that moment, the whole stable genius mythology cracked open on live television. Trump had wanted a spectacle to prove his brilliance. Instead, he created a moment that made millions of people ask something much simpler. If a man cannot explain the freedom he claims to defend, what exactly is he proving? By the end of the night, the clip was everywhere. The demand, the paper, the question, the silence. And that silence said more than any IQ score ever could.